Melbourne. A city of hidden laneways, bustling markets, and a vibrant cultural scene. But beneath the surface, a current of darkness pulsed. The city's underworld, a shadowy reflection of its brighter counterpart, thrived in the silence between police sirens and whispered rumors. It was here, in the working-class suburb of Sunshine, that Dino Dibra's story began. Growing up amidst the struggles of migrant families and the allure of easy money, Dibra's path seemed almost preordained. Sunshine was a melting pot of cultures, a place where ambition simmered alongside desperation. For a young Dibra, the allure of the criminal underworld proved irresistible. He was drawn to its raw power, its promise of wealth and respect. He saw how it offered an escape from the drudgery of a life preordained by poverty. School held little appeal for Dibra, who found solace in the company of older boys, aspiring gangsters who schooled him in the art of petty crime. Their playground was the labyrinthine network of streets and back alleys that snaked through Sunshine. Here they honed their skills, graduating from petty theft to more serious offenses. Each successful heist, each daring act of defiance, fueled Dibra's ambition. He reveled in the adrenaline rush, the thrill of living on the edge. He was quickly becoming a known entity, his name whispered in hushed tones, both in fear and admiration. Word of Dibra's audacity reached the ears of established figures in Melbourne's underworld. They saw in him a raw talent, a young predator with a hunger for more. They offered him protection, guidance, and most importantly, opportunity. Dibra, eager to climb the ranks, embraced their tutelage. He was stepping into a world where loyalty was a currency and betrayal carried a heavy price. The line between ambition and ruthlessness blurred as he climbed the ladder of Melbourne's underworld. Melbourne's criminal underworld was a complex tapestry of alliances and rivalries. It was a world where power was fleeting and violence was a constant companion. Dino Dibra, with his sharp mind and unwavering ambition, navigated this treacherous landscape with surprising ease. He learned to exploit weaknesses, forging alliances and severing them with equal ruthlessness, always with an eye on his own advancement. He rose quickly through the ranks, earning a reputation for both his ruthlessness and his charisma. His ability to command loyalty from his crew was matched only by his capacity for cold-blooded violence. He understood that fear was a powerful motivator, and he wielded it like a weapon. Those who crossed him quickly learned the price of disobedience. Dibra's name, once whispered in the back alleys of Sunshine, was now spoken with a mix of respect and dread. His ascent wasn't without its challenges. Rival gangs saw Dibra as a threat, a disruptor to the established order. Turf wars erupted, painting Melbourne's streets red. Dibra, however, seemed to thrive in the chaos. He led his crew with a combination of strategic brilliance and raw aggression, consolidating his power with each victory. The violence, however, took a toll, pushing him further away from the naive young man who had first arrived from Sunshine. Through it all, Dibra never forgot his roots. He used his newfound wealth and influence to consolidate his power base in Sunshine, establishing a network of loyalists and informants. He became a patron of the suburb, funding local businesses, and offering protection to those who pledged their allegiance. His generosity, however, was often tinged with an implicit threat. To defy Dino Dibra was to invite his wrath, a lesson some learned the hard way. The path to power is rarely a solitary one, and Dino Dibra was no exception. He surrounded himself with a cadre of seasoned criminals, men who had navigated the treacherous waters of Melbourne's underworld for decades. These mentors, hardened by years of violence and betrayal, recognized Dibra's potential and saw in him a reflection of their younger selves. They schooled him in the art of negotiation, the nuances of loyalty and betrayal, and the importance of maintaining a facade of respectability. One such figure was Marco the Shark Santoro, a notorious loan shark and underworld power broker. Santoro saw in Dibra a kindred spirit, a young predator with an insatiable hunger for power. He took Dibra under his wing, teaching him the intricacies of money laundering, extortion, and the delicate art of manipulating law enforcement. Dibra absorbed these lessons like a sponge, applying them with a ruthless efficiency that impressed even his cynical mentor. Another key figure in Dibra's ascent was Katerina Kat Volkov, a cunning businesswoman with ties to Eastern European organized crime. Volkov controlled a vast network of smuggling operations, moving everything from stolen goods to human cargo. She saw in Dibra an opportunity to expand her empire, offering him access to her network in exchange for a share of the profits. Dibra, never one to shy away from a mutually beneficial arrangement, agreed. Volkov became a key ally, providing him with the logistical muscle needed to expand his operations beyond Melbourne's borders. These mentors, however, were not driven by altruism. They saw in Dibra a tool, a weapon to be wielded in their own games of power. They underestimated his ambition, his burning desire to rule, not share, the Melbourne underworld. As Dibra's influence grew, so too did his ambition. He began to see his mentors not as allies, but as obstacles, their shadows looming large over his own aspirations. The student was eager to surpass the master, a dangerous ambition in a world where loyalty was a matter of life and death. Section 4. Narcotics and the Intoxication of Power. Dino Dibra's rise coincided with a surge in drug use across Australia. Cocaine, heroin, and amphetamines flooded the streets, creating a new generation of addicts and lining the pockets of organized crime. Dibra, always the opportunist, recognized the immense profit potential of the narcotics trade. He saw it as the key to amassing the wealth and power he craved. Despite the inherent risks, he decided to take the plunge, diving headfirst into the murky waters of drug trafficking. He leveraged his connections with Kat Volkov to secure a steady supply of high-grade heroin from Southeast Asia. His crew, now larger and more ruthless than ever, established a distribution network that stretched across Melbourne and into the suburbs. Dibra's narcotics empire flourished, bringing with it a level of wealth he had never imagined. He bought luxury apartments, sports cars, and expensive suits, surrounding himself with beautiful women and sycophantic hangers-on. The money, however, came at a heavy price. As Dibra's wealth grew, so too did his paranoia. He trusted no one, surrounding himself with armed guards and installing elaborate security systems in his properties. He became increasingly isolated, his days and nights fueled by cocaine and a growing sense of invincibility. The lines between business and pleasure blurred, his life becoming a dangerous cocktail of violence, paranoia, and excess. The streets of Melbourne, once content to turn a blind eye to his criminal activities, began to feel the strain of Dibra's burgeoning drug empire. Overdoses soared, and turf wars between rival gangs, vying for a piece of the lucrative drug trade, became increasingly violent. The police, under pressure to act, formed a dedicated task force to investigate Dibra's activities. The net was closing in, but Dibra, blinded by his own hubris, remained oblivious to the danger. Section 5. The Serpent's Embrace, Internal Strife and Betrayal. The higher Dino Dibra climbed, the more precarious his position became. The world he inhabited was governed by a ruthless code, where loyalty was a fragile commodity, easily shattered by greed and ambition. As Dibra's power grew, so too did the resentment and envy of those around him. The very lieutenants he had elevated, the men who had stood by him during his bloody ascent, now saw him as an obstacle to their own ambitions. Whispers of discontent began to circulate within his inner circle. Old scores, long thought settled, resurfaced, fueled by paranoia and the intoxicating allure of power. Dibra, once revered for his street smarts and unwavering loyalty, became increasingly isolated, suspicious of even his closest confidants. He surrounded himself with new recruits, young and hungry men eager to prove their loyalty, but their naivety made them unpredictable, wild cards in a game with deadly stakes. The first cracks in Dibra's empire appeared not from police raids or rival gangs, but from within his own ranks. A series of botched drug deals, followed by the suspicious disappearance of a trusted lieutenant, pointed towards treachery. The man who had prided himself on his ability to read people, to anticipate their moves, had become blind to the ambition festering within his own ranks. He had created a monster, and now it was turning on its creator. One by one, his lieutenants began to defect, cutting deals with rival gangs or disappearing altogether, taking their knowledge of Dibra's operations with them. The pressure, both from the law and from within his own organization, began to take its toll. The confident swagger was replaced by a haunted look. Sleep became a luxury he could no longer afford, his nights plagued by nightmares and the chilling realization that his empire, built on blood and betrayal, was crumbling around him.